Yeah, so another really good feature about the quickjack is that you can literally use it anywhere as long as you have a level place to set your car up and you have access to a 120 volt plug. You can use this thing absolutely anywhere that you freaking need it, man. So even if you've already got like a 2-post or a 4-post lift inside of your shop, let's say you own a shop, who knows, that lift might be taken up. You could have yourself a set of quickjacks sitting aside so that whenever you need to do something that doesn't require you to lift it that high up in the air, you have these that you can lift it in your parking lot or lift it in the driveway or wherever it is you need to do it. Take these things with you to the track, man. If you have a generator, boom, you have a lift at the track. Anyhow, guys, what's up, man? Welcome back to the garage. Today, we are not gonna be working on that damn BMW. Well, we're gonna be doing something with it. I'll get to that in a second. But today, we are going to be finally installing this ghost lock on the EK. We've had this thing sitting for a couple of weeks now. JDI has been very patient with us, man. Huge shout out to them for sending this out for the car. I'm most certainly gonna have links to this in the description down below, as well as to their Instagram, man. Go throw them a follow, let them know the DBG sent you. This is the reason why I have the car pulled in backwards so that I could scoot it all the way over to one side, because for the most part, we're gonna need access to the passenger side of the car. Everything that we're gonna be doing is basically gonna be on this side. So, and we're gonna get into that here in a moment. Yep, you guys remember these wheels? These were the stock ones that were actually on the E46 whenever we first got it. People want to lowball me on the car, so you know what? I'm keeping my damn wheels. These are definitely going right back on it, because if they want it for anything less than 6 grand, dude, I'm sorry. Those BBSs are not going. Alright, but I'm gonna finish that up later. For now, we are gonna get cracking into this ghost lock. So this is everything that the kit comes with. This is the actual wiring harness itself. You have a couple of relays. They include some zip ties and stuff. This is the actual GPS module, and I'll tell you some more details on that later on. Once we get this thing installed, I'll explain it a little bit more. But for the most part, this harness is for your fuel pump. This is a 14 volt conversion for your fuel pump. Whether your car is stock or let's say it's turboed, for instance, or whatever, whenever you run a larger fuel pump, you want to step up the wiring, because the OEM wiring just doesn't handle the current that an aftermarket fuel pump needs. And bumping the system from 12 volt up to 14 volt helps tremendously with keeping that constant voltage that our fuel pumps need. But this most certainly is a very beneficial upgrade, whether your car is stock or if it's a built race car or whatever, just to have a healthier supply of power to your fuel pump. I always have fuel pump problems, you guys already know. So now this is supposed to be a plug and play setup, which means it will be an easy installation, but I will start off by saying that it looks like it's a very good quality harness. This is where our relays are gonna plug in. Got a nice fusible link right here. You can disconnect this harness. You got some quality disconnects and stuff on here. It looks like it's very well built, man. And it's got a nice wire loom going over the whole thing to keep the wires safe. So let's go ahead and get into this. There's a couple of things that we need to take apart on the car. Busting our light stick out, not necessarily because it's too dark to see what I'm doing, but just for the better quality lighting for the video. First thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the battery. Alright, we got the battery removed, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this cover off because we're going to need access to that here shortly. And also, I'm going to be taking the battery tray itself out. Reason being, on EKs, the wiring harness actually passes through the firewall just beneath this battery tray. So we need access to that because that is going to be where we are going to be plugging our harness out through the firewall, and we have to plug into the 14 volt that comes from the alternator. All right, so we now have access to where our wiring harness actually passes through the firewall. Now, if you come into the car, that is actually down here in this area. I believe it's right behind the carpet, but either way, we'll figure it out later. You want to drop your glove box down because the relays and stuff from this kit we are actually going to be storing up in this little cubby hole right here. I use my drill as a flashlight. So yeah, we have enough space right there that we're going to be able to actually hide the relays back inside of there. And it won't be in the way of anything. And then our harness is basically going to go from that 14-volt terminal on our fuse box through the firewall. And we're going to come up to our relays that will be mounted here. And then it's going to come back down into this panel and run to the back of the car. So basically this harness consists of 3 pigtails that all come back and meet up right here where the relays plug in. So imagine this right here is going to be in behind our glove box. So this pigtail right here is the one that's going to actually go through the firewall, and it's got a little ring terminal on it right there. That is going to be what we connect to our 14-volt terminal that comes from the alternator. Also right here where this disconnects, that is the wire that goes through the firewall. So it's got a clip on it to make it easier for installation, which is really nice. This second little pigtail right here that comes down, this is going to be the plug that actually plugs into our GPS, the little tracking module that we're going to be installing. And then the third one, which is the big massive one, this is the one that is going to run all the way back to the fuel pump. And then back here at where the fuel pump connects, there is actually a ground that you'll need to hook up, and which we'll cover that here in a moment. I just wanted to kind of break that down for you. Hopefully this makes sense because it is actually super simple. Super freaking simple, bro. You know what I'm saying? The hardest thing about this is just the fact that I'm outside in 110-degree weather. All right, our first task is we need to get this through the firewall. Now, we took the battery and everything out and we exposed our little rubber boot right here, but you don't want to just pop a hole in it because obviously that will create a place where water can leak through. You know what I'm saying? This thing is watertight so that nothing can get into your engine or through the firewall. So what I'm actually doing, if you guys look at how this thing is set up, this is a rubber boot that the wiring actually passes through, and then they have it taped right here. It's just electrical tape, and this is from the factory. So what I'm doing is I'm going to actually remove this electrical tape, exposing the boot, so then we can go ahead and pass our wire from the inside. It's probably gonna be pretty tight, but pass it through the inside and then coming out the exact same place that our engine harness is coming out, and then I'll re-tape it so that it still is weather tight and we don't have to worry about water getting inside of there. All right, I got that thing through there. Let me tell you, that was not an easy task because that boot is really freaking tight. So yeah, I had to just yeah, it was a pain in the ass. That I imagine is probably the hardest part of this entire process. So now I just need to make sure and pull enough slack through that it's got to reach right here. That's it. So it's got to go from there to there. Doink. And then I'm going to retape it. I'm just going to put this whole roll of electrical tape on there, bro. The whole thing. I'm just kidding. All right, there it is. All wrapped up with electrical tape. Got it bolted back to the firewall. All nice and watertight still. And I pulled enough slack for us to reach to our 14-volt post right here that comes from our alternator. So that's pretty much it, other than I need to pull that screw out and add that in there. We are for the most part done with the engine bay side of this installation. All right, I'm curious. I gotta know if the light will fit right here. Oh, the car's too small. Damn it. Alright, so now popping off the interior plastics just on this passenger side here. This is where we are going to be routing the rest of the harness. I also removed the back seat because we need to pop that door open and access the fuel pump itself, because our harness is going to be plugging directly into the fuel pump. This is just temporary. I'm going to actually get the wires all tucked in all nice and stuff after we complete this section right here. So now we need to get this up in through the dash right here and mounted in behind the glove box where I showed you earlier. And if you notice, here is our plug that's coming from the engine bay, and which is going to just simply plug directly into the harness right there. So that makes it a lot easier, the fact that this unplugs, because through that whole process of running this through the Firewall, we didn't have to deal with this big old jumble of wires, you know what I'm saying? We can disconnect this and just deal with this separately. All right, so we got our fuse and we got our relays all nicely tucked back here, and I have it zip tied so that they can't fall down or go anywhere. Now all we have to do is just simply one-handed, try not to break it. There we go. Boom. And it's all hidden. Now the wiring coming down, I am going to be running it with the rest of the wiring to the car. That's the reason why we removed all those plastic trim pieces, and I've already started guiding it back there, and I have it zip tied down so it's nice and clean. Now they do include quite a bit of wiring here, so I mean obviously if you have like a custom application, let's say it's your fuel pump isn't necessarily in there, like for instance on Khaki I have it all the way in the front bumper. Some people have their fuel pumps mounted all the way in the rear of the car. I think it's really good that they include this extra bit of wire. Now of course we're not going to need all of this, so I will need to kind of coil this up in an area, zip tie it all nice and clean, but I want to get into the fuel pump first and get this connected so I know exactly how much wire that we need to reach to that. So that's our next step. We got to crack that thing open. Of course there's spider webs in here. Why wouldn't there be spider webs in here, you know? Why wouldn't there be? Alright, so I have our harness run through the grommet for the fuel pump. The same grommet that our factory wires go through. Now, let's face it, this doesn't have to be nearly as waterproof as the one that's inside of the engine bay. So what I did was I actually just cut a slit and then popped the grommet off, went around my wiring and popped the grommet back in. Our main concern here is we want to make sure that the wiring isn't going to get chafed on this metal. So as long as it has a nice protected rubber ring around it, I think we're good. And then I went ahead and I wrapped some electrical tape around just so that this thing can't slide in and out. Now this is going to be the easiest part, what I think, of this whole entire installation, which makes this really cool. So this is the plug that goes to the fuel pump, and you literally plug this into the harness. Make sure and plug it in all the way, get it to clip. So now this side actually plugs directly into the fuel pump itself. And that's it, dude. The factory harness plugs into our JDI harness, and then the JDI harness actually plugs into the fuel pump. And that is how you get the functionality of this thing being a plug and play. Now, our fuel pump will still get power whenever you turn your key. The original wiring is now acting as a remote wire. Like basically that's what tells the relay up there, hey, throw power. So if you look how skinny these factory wires are, they're really skinny wires, man. And that is the reason why you want to upgrade this, because that is just stupid skinny ass wiring. Where the wiring in their kit, I believe it looks like it's a 12 gauge. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up to be for sure, but it most certainly is about 3 or 4 times the size of the factory wiring. So now all we got to do is just tuck all this stuff down inside of here, get it all happy where it wants to be, and put this cover back on. That's it. All right, so I took all the excess harness and I just kind of coiled it right here. Well, not coiled, but like I ran it like this and then back, you know what I'm saying? And zip tied it to the factory wiring so that it's nice and safe. It's out of the way. The carpet will cover it up. And then the only other thing that we have to do back here is there is a ground wire, and I'm gonna actually use this number 10 that is down here. You probably can't see it. This number 10 right here that normally is for holding the seat down. I didn't even have it bolted in right now, so I'm sure most of you guys are just like me. We never put this damn bolt back in. But anyhow, I'm gonna take a piece of sandpaper and kind of expose a little bit of metal right there, and I'll put our ground right there and use this 10 to tighten it down, bro. The only other thing that we have to do is this other harness, this one right here. This is the one that plugs into that GPS tracking unit. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a position in which I'm not gonna share on video. This is mostly like a security device, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to put in video where it is that I actually place this in the car. If you look on JDI's website or on their installation video, they explain to you the best places devices to install this. They recommend not to put it like right next to the metal bar that's underneath the dash, things like that, because it can affect this thing getting its signal or something along those lines. If you want more information about that, most certainly go check their video out, and I'll have it in a link in the description down below. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and install this somewhere that only I know about it, and the person who obviously wins the car, I'll share that information with them. I got the battery reinstalled, got all the plastics reinstalled. If you notice that there's the one plastic that's still not on. I haven't put this one on because it covers the ECU, and whenever Curly has the time, he's gonna be over and we are gonna be messing with the ECU, obviously. So installation is done, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that was probably one of the easiest things. I was honestly kind of dreading it because I'm like, I just put all this damn interior in. I thought I was gonna have to route it like under the carpet through the, I don't know. Either way, this harness was 10 times easier to install than I would have ever thought. But now, moment of truth, is the car gonna start? I feel pretty confident that it will. But let's see. There it is. And if you guys don't remember, this car is also equipped with the JDI push button start for even more added security, man. So now not only do we have the JDI push button start, which eliminates the possibility of somebody jiggle keying your car. If you guys don't remember, this car got stolen from me, and when we got it back, the jiggle key was still stuck in the damn ignition. But it is also equipped with the JDI Ghost Lock now. So that little module that you've seen that I had to install in a secret location inside of the car. And the reason for installing it in a secret location is you don't want somebody to be able to jump into the car and just simply unplug it, and then you lose all your GPS capabilities, you know what I'm saying? So JDI does include this little instruction sheet. Basically, there is an app that you download, and then you have to register your item, in which I think it goes off of like a, yeah, the device has a serial number. So you'll have to register the device with the serial number. It says on here that they have like 5 different plans. So they might have a free version. I don't know, because I'm not going to register this myself. I'm going to allow the winner of the car to register the device themselves. I don't want to actually register it in my name, and then whoever wins the car, like, I don't want that to become a confusing situation, you know what I'm saying? So it is equipped with the GPS locator. So what that thing does is it basically gives you an app that you can see where your car is at all times. And you can also, let's say you lock up your car and you walk away from it. Let's say that somebody gets in your car and steals it. If the car leaves 500 feet from where you left it, it will give you a notification. It'll tell you, hey, your car is more than 500 feet away from you. And that's when you're like, oh my God, my car got stolen. So it's just one of those added safety things to help you protect your vehicle from getting stolen. Not to mention, it also has a GPS locator so you can see where your car is at. But that's not it, dude. That's not it. The reason why this device is integrated into the wiring for the fuel pump is because you can remotely, through the app, shut the fuel pump off to your car. So for instance, let's say you go into work, or you're at Walmart or something grabbing some groceries, right? You get a notification saying, hey, your car is more than 500 feet away from where you left it. You look on the GPS and you see, oh yeah, my car is freaking headed right down the road, man. You want to wait till the car stops, because obviously you don't want to do it in the middle of traffic. That can put somebody's lives in danger. But you wait till the car stops somewhere, and then you can deactivate the fuel pump, which will actually kill the car, and then they can't drive it anymore. And then through the GPS, you know where the car is at, so you can then call the police, be like, hey, yo, my car is sitting right here. It was stolen. I have a GPS. This is where it shows that it's at. So it's a win-win, dude. I think this is most certainly a dope ass setup. I need to order one of these and actually install this on khaki, bro. Hell, really, you should have this installed on every one of your cars, especially if you live in Phoenix. And now let's go get these damn tires swapped out for the BMW, because I need to put those other wheels back on it and lower the price on this thing because it's not selling. It doesn't look terrible on these wheels. What do you guys think? Put in the comments down below. I mean, they're the factory wheels, dude. The only thing I don't like is how sunk they are, but I just ordered spacers so that we can actually bring them out a little bit. And the spacers that I ordered are hub centric, and they come with extended wheel bolts, so they're safe spacers. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of you guys are wanting the EK comic shirt back in stock, in which we are working on it. We're trying to restock on that shirt because it is the most requested one. But I want to let you guys know that we have a lot of stock on our stickers and on our cups. I'll have it in the description down below. Also, if you visit the website, you'll be able to see. But I am going to do 2x entries on stickers and cups only. If you guys haven't already entered, now's your chance to go ahead and get 2x entries. Or if you've already entered, man, help me get rid of some of these stickers and these cups because we have an entire closet full of them. So yeah, double entries, stickers and cups. Go to the website. I'll have it posted up. Whenever you actually see the product, it'll say 2x entries. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it in the description of the product. The link is in the description down below of this video. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do smash the like button. Peace out, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to check the links in the description down below, not only to enter for the giveaway, but go check JDI out. They have a lot of really dope ass products. You won't regret it.